Real combat, real action, Carnage Media.
And speaking of that, I mean, we might as well just, dive right into it and start talking about, the main card here for Carnage Fight Series 2.
Yeah.
And let's start with the main event right there. So, how do you think that is going to kind of go away? After listening to them, Jimmy and Q talk, how do you think that's going to turn out?
Yeah, I think both very high-level grapplers, and that's their main goal. So I think, yeah, like Jimmy had mentioned, it is going to be a chess match, and first one to make a mistake and someone can capitalize on it, I think it's going to win that. And then sometimes you also get where it just nullifies each other and you just get a nice little stand-up fight.
Yeah, because you never know. Because you know how it can be. They're both grapplers, so they're probably both pretty good at takedown defense.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can have them one going down for a takedown and they just can't take each other down.
Yeah.
Or it could be just a dirty boxing match up against the cage for a good portion of it. It's probably, I mean, I don't know who's going to take the first shot. I'm not quite sure, but it's probably first it's a high level chess match. So it's probably going to be a stand up at first, checking each other out, seeing what's going on. I'm not sure, how they're going to come out, whether they're going to throw some kicks, whether they're going to throw some punches. Mm-hmm. We know Q can throw some kicks because he's won tournaments before in kickboxing. So we know he can. Is he going to utilize that? I don't know. That's something that I'm going to be interested in seeing if someone can stuff his takedown, because we haven't seen anybody stuff his takedowns yet.
Yeah. And then also I guess it's the danger of do you want to risk throwing those kicks
with someone that's high level catching it, taking you down? Because I don't think we've ever seen anybody also take down Q. So we could see Jimmy being a high level jiu-jitsu guy and wrestler being able to just come in there and take him down too.
Yeah. Well, Q did get Q got taken down his first time ever in his career, or at least pro career that I remember, his last fight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He did get taken down one time, I believe, but he has great offense off his back. He's good at scrambler and just that high level grappling. So it's even if you get him down, can you keep him down?
So do you think that's how it's going to end up being? Is a big scramble, or do you think it's going to be like a scramble wrestling match, or do you think it's going to be more of jiu-jitsu and changing positions here and there, trying out submissions? Which way do you think that's going to go on the ground?
Yeah, I think here's how I think the whole fight's going. I think the first round they're going to be very chess match, feel each other out, and it's going to be mostly standing up. Maybe a takedown attempt here and there. I don't think we're going to see much ground in the first round. Second, once they get going a little bit, get that blood pumping, I think it may go to the ground, or at least there's going to be some cage grappling going on. And I think there's going to be scrambles and then moments of danger.
That's what I think. I think you're right. Except I think it's going to go to the ground right off the get-go. I think when you've got a wrestler and a jiu-jitsu guy, both of them comfortable on the ground, I feel like you're going to have that scramble struggle in the first round. That's what it's going to be. Is legs are going to be grabbed. You're going to be up against the cage most of the time, battling for hand positions, dirty boxing. Someone's going to get a sweep somewhere, somehow, and it's going to take them down. And then it's just going to be a chess match of trying to get dominant position that first time and feeling each other out on the ground. I feel like that's how it's going to start off with. And then each round is just going to progress into more dangerous and dangerous territory of, he's almost got him in this, but he slipped out. Oh, now so-and-so's almost got him in this, and now they've slipped out. And I think that's how that battle is really going to go and turn out.
Yeah, I can see that happening as well.
So either way, I'm excited. It's our headliner. It's our main event. So I'm excited.
I think that main event is going to display a great MMA in its whole. You're going to see some striking. You're going to see some kickboxing. You're going to see some grappling, dirty boxing, and then you're going to see a lot of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm there for it all.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And I'm there for it all. So then we're going to move on to our co-main event, which is Ferreris Golden Jr. versus Wilson Lopshire?
Lopshire.
Okay, good. You know me and pronunciations of the last name, so I'm glad I didn't butcher that one completely.
Hey, I don't know if I butchered it either, but that's how I pronounce it.
Wilson, we apologize, man. We apologize if we got your last name wrong. It's not our intentions. So we've got two guys. So Wilson is 2-0, and Ferreras is 3-5. Ferreras is coming off of hold on. He's coming off some losses here. Hasn't had he's had a couple of canceled bouts here. So that's always unfortunate because his last fight was supposed to be May 17th, coming off of that. But we've seen Ferreras fight before. Ferreras is a type of guy who comes out swinging, Yeah. Now the question is, has he learned from that? Is he more patient? Do you think he's going to come into this more patient against an undefeated pro guy in this bout?
Yeah, I think he's trying to get back in that win column. I think he's going to be a little bit more measured. I think you're still going to see he is so explosive. Mm-hmm. He's got heavy hands, heavy punches. I think he's just going to be more measured with it. And a lot of his losses, I've watched a lot of his fights. A lot of his losses, he's winning and then just kind of like a Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards on the last minute or something. He gets knocked out. So I expect some wrestling and heavy punches and him being a little bit more measured. Wilson Lopshire, I don't know much about him, but it looks like he trains out of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym.
He looks like he's a ground guy.
So it looks like even if he does get taken down, that he's going to be able to have some offense off his back and come with some high-level jiu-jitsu.
His actual last fight ended in a draw decision, which I've never seen that actually. Yeah. I've never actually seen that in person. So that has to be an interest. I'm going to have to ask him about that on Friday and how that ended up and all that. So when we're there for the weigh-ins, we're going to have to ask him about that.
Yeah.
But he's got rear naked choke, darts choke is his last three things. Oh, that's the one was a grappling, and those were grappling. I apologize. So I'm over here looking at stuff and not seeing his grappling. So that was the draw, was the grappling. But his last ones, Jacob Diaz and Jesse Lee, he won by darts choke in the first round and a rear naked choke in the first round. So this guy's coming in there and he's finishing boys off in the first round. He's not messing around. So I'm guessing that he's going to be taking it to the ground, or at least trying to take it to the ground. And we're going to see if Ferreras can handle that, or if Ferreras has a good enough defense where he can stay. Because I know that's where Ferreras likes to be. He feels more comfortable in a stand-up game because he's got power. He's got raw power in his hands. So this is you and me. This is our biggest debate. What's going to win out, stand and banging, or the ground game? Because I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this fight here. So how do you think it's going to go? Do you think it's going to be a stand up, or do you think it's going to go to the ground?
I think Ferreras is going to try to keep it standing. He feels. I think that's where he feels more comfortable, like you said. So I think has worked on his takedown defense. He's worked on keeping standing, keeping his range, so he can utilize his freaking stone hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I really do. So I'm excited to see either way it's going to go. I think we're going to see high level here as well. It's just we're going to see two pros going to go at it, ready to put it all out on the line. Because that's kind of from talking with Wilson, that's kind of what I get from him as well. So I'm excited to see those two just go at it and show us, some pro skills.
For sure. Yeah. And the record doesn't show his experience. He's 2-0 in as a pro, but he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 amateur bouts. So he's got experience in the ring. So yeah, I think both very experienced in that striker versus grappler matchup.
Yeah. And then we're going to move on down down the card here, and it's going to be for a belt. We've got our belt fight for the Amis, so we're jumping into our Ami part of the card, and that is going to be Andrew Gamblin versus Grant Wainwright. So I'm excited for this because this is a 135. This belt is up for grabs. No one has this at our amateur level. And Grant is coming off a significant layoff. He has not fought since 2018.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he is 4-1, so it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's coming in with a good record. His loss came from a decision, and it was a unanimous, but it was still a decision to Daniel Hugh. So every other one, his first fight, he won by punches in the second, unanimous decision, rear naked choke, and then a unanimous decision. So we've seen him finish standing up, we've seen him finish on the ground, and we've seen him go the distance. So we know that he's tested. The question is going to be, is he tested now? Because having a 6-year layoff is kind of a long time. It's not quite 6, but it's almost 6 years because it was September of then that he did it. So and then
it's always a question of that ring rust. Is that going to be a thing for him? Not being biased or anything, but I actually coached him. I was a high school wrestling coach, and at Finley, I coached him in wrestling. So I know he's a tough cookie. So I'm just wondering if that ring rust is going to play a factor at all.
Yeah, because we know Andrew Gamblin coming off of his win, he finished this guy quick and fast against a guy
he's explosive.
His guy had some background in Muay Thai, if I'm not mistaken, and he came in there and just dominated him. It was 39 seconds in the first round. He came in and just lit him up. We broke down the footage with him.
Yeah,
we brought him on.
We did. And for being such a little guy, he packed some power behind his shot. So
because he busted up the guy's eye from his punches, and I think it was I don't know if that was just from a jab that I think he messed up the guy's eye from a jab. That's saying something if you're having that much power in a jab to mess up cut someone's eye like that.
For sure.
So he's coming off of that. His only loss again went the distance. So both of these guys, their only losses are going to the judges and making the judges make the decision. Unanimous decision. But Andrew's first was a doctor stoppage in the second round, so he beat the guy up, used that power of his, and stopped it. Second one was the unanimous decision loss. And then he had a unanimous decision, and then he had the punches. So we know he's got power. We know he can go the distance. The question is, what's his ground game look like? Because I don't think we've really seen him too much working on the ground that much. But going from Adrenaline Academy, where he's from, I know they work a lot of jiu-jitsu and ground game stuff.
Yeah, so maybe we just haven't seen that aspect, and we get surprised by how good he is, actually.
I see this being a stand-up. This is going to be a stand-up.
I think this is going to be a barn burner, just like
someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. Someone's getting knocked out in this fight for this belt, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to wrap that off of someone and do that. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited for it. So,
and then they're little guys too. So it's like they come with a crazy pace.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because they're small, but they've got power. I know they've got power.
Yeah.
So having small guys have got power, that's dangerous. Quick and powerful, very, very dangerous. So I'm excited. Like I said, I think it's going to be a stand-up fight. I think it's going to be a stand-and banger. I think everyone's going to be excited to watch this fight. It's for a belt, so they're going to put it all on the line.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, I'm pumped. I'm excited about that. And then moving on down, we're going to then have our interim welterweight championship match here. So for anyone who didn't know, we had a matchup planned, which was it was supposed to be Brandon Benson, who is our current welterweight champion. He unfortunately got hurt and had to pull from his fight. And so Colten, and he was going to be fighting Colten Hensley. If you guys had tuned in to the interview we had with those two, it was a fireworks. We didn't really have to ask any questions. Yeah. It was just those two going back and forth. It was beautiful. I loved it.
There was no love lost, and they were ready to put a hurting on each other. I was looking forward to that. I'm kind of sad, but thank you, Will Chow, for stepping up.
Yes. So Will Chow stepping up in weight and stepping up last minute to take this fight. So this is going to be for our interim belt. And what we're going to do is whoever wins this, once Benson is good and healthy, we're going to unify that belt. So that fight is hopefully then going to happen maybe in August. We'll see kind of where Benson is. But for this one, Will Chow versus Colten Hensley, how do you kind of see this going, Wade?
Yeah, I think this is going to be – I think Will is going to try to keep it standing up. He's gotten 2 finishes by KO and punches. But I think if it does go to the ground, I think Colten is the one going to be initiating that. But Will Chow has a rear naked choke finish in the first round. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be a battle to make your opponent make a mistake and capitalizing on that.
Yeah, because if we're looking at Will Chow, right? He's finished someone with punches. He's done a rear naked choke. You know, he's gone the distance. He lost to JD Mignette, which JD Mignette is a fantastic fighter. We've seen him and what he can do on the ground. So that's no shame in that loss, even though you don't want to take a loss. And then he's also won by TKO KO. So, you know, he can go the distance. He went with JD, who is a grinder, and grinded it. So we know he can do that and last. We know he can get on the ground and submit people, and we know he can knock some people out. So Will Chow is well balanced, even though he's stepping up in the weight. I think this is going to be a good matchup for him because Colten, he's had a strike. He's been submitted once. He's had and then since then though he's had a 3-fight win streak where he won by strikes and then won by 2 submissions. So he can go to the ground and he can strike. The question is, what is he going to do? From the sound of the interview that we did with him, though, he wanted to stand and bang. But I don't know if that was just with Benson or if that's just what he wants to do moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how they go about this. I think that first round is going to be standing up, though. And I think, honestly, this is what I got this feeling right now, that they're going to be standing up and someone's going to submit and take that takedown because they're like, oh, shit, I'm just getting my ass whooped right now. Let me take this down.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think it's just going to be a stand and banger. I don't think either one of them is going to back down from this. I do. I don't think they're going to try to go for the takedown. I think it could end up on the ground, but that's because someone clipped somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it's going to end up on the ground is because somebody clips somebody and jumps on them and the other person recovers. And then it's going to become a little grappling session down on the ground. Because we know that they both can submit. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's where their choices are going to be. I think it's going to be a stand. They're going to stand and want to bang. That's just what my thoughts are, though.
Okay.
And then starting our main, we went reverse, everybody. I apologize. Normally we go the other way, but I was excited to talk about our main event because we just had him on. So then we got Juwan Minifield versus Sean Freeman, who's going to be starting off our main card of the evening. And you know, we talked to Juwan, and that boy just wants to fight.
Yeah.
He's playing simple. That boy is just ready to fight. I mean, he's already fought the toughest battle you can really fight, and twice, and that was cancer. You know what I mean? And so you know the boy's got heart, and you know he's going to come and he's going to put down what he can in any way, whether it's the ground or stand up. He's a wrestler, but he hates wrestling. Remember that. He hates wrestling.
Yes, I heard that. But I'm excited because Sean Freeman brings some energy. I mean, he's won by submissions, He's won by ground and pound. But I think he's just an opportunist. Wherever he can find that opening, he's taking it. But he's coming in with some energy, and he's going to be in your face.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's because we've seen him the last couple. I mean, we've seen him on a couple of cards. So I'm excited to see what he's going to pull out for this and see if he can't do what he's done with everybody else to Juwan, because Juwan doesn't seem like the type of person who's just going to take it. He seems like the kind of guy who he's going to enforce his will on you. And so to me, I'm wondering if Sean can prevent him and Sean can, put his own plan in there and do it. And how we doing, Connor? Hope all is well on your end, buddy. But yeah, I'm excited to kind of see what they're going to do, because like I said, I feel like Juwan's going to be the type that's just going to instill his will on Sean. And I want to see if Sean can withstand it and implement his own game plan in the octagon here.
Yeah. And it's going to be interesting, because if Sean can withstand that extra motivation behind Juwan, we just say he just won his battle. He's in remission with cancer, and he's coming out with a point to prove. He feels like that cancer battle kind of set him back, and he wants to get the ball rolling. So he's coming with some extra motivation. So let's see how Sean can deal with that, especially in Juwan's hometown.
Yes, and that's going to be the hard part, because Freeman is going to basically be the enemy here. Yeah. He's going to be getting all the boos. But personally, as a fighter, I love it when people boo. It just hyped you up. At least me personally. It hyped me up, and I'm like, yeah, let me feel the hate. Let me feel the hate, because I can't wait to hear your reactions. What did knock this guy out?
Yep. Silence that crowd. When it goes from being so loud to just silence.
Silent.
Well, that's a good
we already know Juwan's going to be bringing the crowd, because he already said it. He's got the whole community behind him. So I'm excited to see what atmosphere he can bring to this card, because it's going to be electrifying already with everybody else on this.
Yeah, especially to open up the main card too, like open up with some energy.
Exactly. Now, do you have anyone else on this card? I know we said we're just going to kind of break down the main card, but is there anyone else on the prelims here that you're looking forward to see you fight?
Let me see.
Because I got mine. I know mine, and if you pick it, I'm gonna be mad because you're probably gonna pick it.
Yeah. I love the heavy boys.
Yeah, I knew it.
I knew it. Yeah, they're coming to sling some leather. And Donovan Stevens, we saw in BG take on Juan Silva, and his debut. It came.
And we've seen Juan fight before.
Yeah,
and he's no slouch. And to just sit there and do what he did to Juan is a statement, especially for your debut.
Yeah, he's a former D1 athlete, played football at BG, I believe, and transitioned over to MMA. You love to see it, because football people, they're explosive, especially being a heavy boy, coming with some power. So, yeah.
So I'm excited for that one. That was kind of my prelim highlight that I wanted to highlight, but of course you had to steal it. But and we can't take anything away from Blake either, because we've seen Blake. He finished his guy. Hold on, what did he finish his guy on? Because he was on the same card. And he finished that guy tap out the strikes in 32 seconds.
Yeah. I've sparred with Blake, and he's got heavy hands too. So
what you're telling me, this is going to be another slugger, another leather swapping, punching, blood everywhere. So Kevin better be wearing black, is what I'm hearing.
Yes. He needs to take a page out of Joe Rogan and wear all black. Quit ruining his shirts.
Quit ruining his white shirts. If you can hear us, Kevin, quit wearing white shirts.
Yeah, I know.
So, all right. Well, everybody, our show is June 28th, Carnage Fight Series 2. And I got tongue twisted right there. Normally, I don't do that way. I'm going to talking.
Words, they're hard right now.
Words, they elude me. Anyway, Carnage Fight Series 2, Richards versus Sandlin, in Sandusky, Ohio, at 1058 Event Center. Come check us out there. If you can't make it, that's fine. You can catch us live on the pay-per-view, and you can check that out at carnagemediappv.com. So go ahead and check that out. And you can also go back on some of these fighters that we have filmed before and check it out on our YouTube channel. Go back, look at those fights so you can kind of get prepped for what you're going to see from these fighters on this Saturday show. So I'm looking forward to see you guys all there.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and see you there.